All right, are we live? I think so. There we go. All right, we're live tonight. Shabbat Shalom on this Saturday or Friday evening. May 12th. I had to look, I had no idea. May 12th, 2023. Friday the 12th. I guess it's 9:41 p.m. Central Time where I'm at. Hope you all had a wonderful Friday. I certainly did. Did I go anywhere? Oh yeah, I did. I got some about 3 or 4 things that I needed for Sabbath. I got some more cream cheese for my wontons that I'm making, and my little pizza burgers. I had to get cheese for that. So anyway, otherwise I was home the rest of the day, most of the day, entire day, cleaning and getting ready for Sabbath. My house is nice and clean, spotless. I love that about Friday nights. My top to bottom house is spotless. Fridge cleaned out. That's never fun. All kinds of good stuff. So, yard work done. Everything ready to rest for the next day. So, and the sunset is getting much later now. I think it was 8. What was it? 8:34. Actually, I don't even know. 8:34, maybe 8:30. 8:34, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, getting tired. Yeah, ran and did some good stuff. And actually, my dogs, they just ate dinner and they're chewing on their bones because they got a bone today. All 3 of them got a nice marrow bone. Trying to get the marrow out of it. What they do. So as you can see by the title, it's just an open chat. No scriptures tonight. Just open chat. If anybody wants to play, oh, there's a cat trying to get in my. What in the heck? The feral cat, the wild cat, is playing with the tennis ball. That is cute. There's laying in my driveway playing with the tennis ball. Must feel that's cute. I guess wildcats play with balls too. I guess it had the ball and it rolled on its back, and Rabbit kicked it and was playing with it. That's cute. Anyway, didn't know wildcats did that. My cat's out playing with those wildcats. He likes them. Those are his new friends. He's telling everybody how we're nice in here and stuff. Now it's playing with the stuffed animal. That is crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, weird. I hope my cat's okay. He's out playing with them. I'm like, get in here. He's like, These are my friends. And I watched them on the video camera, on my security camera. All of them sitting in the driveway with my cat. All talking. He's like, nah, these guys are nice. They took me in. I've been living here for about 1.5 years. And it looked like he was chatting with them. His new friends. So, anyway, and they're coming back for more food. I got a couple kinds of food, new stuff for them. They like it. Anyway, well, hey D, how was your day? Welcome. Shabbat shalom, shalom to everybody, and happy Sabbath, happy Friday, whatever your day is. I hope it was a good one. I was just saying, I got everything done. Hey Grace, how you doing tonight? Shabbat shalom to you too. How was your day, ladies? I hope Dee and Grace had a wonderful day, as I did. Yes, it was very nice. Beautiful day, a little cooler than it has been, but still beautiful. I had a sweat jacket with shorts on, typical Minnesota cold day. And yeah, got my food ready, and yeah, I got all my food ready. I made a few peanut butter cookies, homemade peanut butter cookies, and got everything done. So I'm super stoked, ready to have a nice rest. It wasn't really that hard of a week though. I will tell you though, so it's it was kind of I did get a lot done, I guess. I got a lot done. I did a lot of garden stuff. I think tomorrow, I said it last week, maybe the week before, but I think one of these days, if it's nice out, maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll try my live stream and go out in the daytime and show you guys my garden. I'm just kind of emptying out the boxes right now. Haven't made peanut butter cookies in years. Yeah, I got a recipe. Remember that cookbook? It was like 2 weeks ago tonight, I think. I showed you that cookbook. And it had a recipe cut out of the St. Paul Pioneer Press from 1970 something. It was a peanut butter cookie recipe. So I taped it on the inside of my cabinet in my kitchen. Second time I made them. Oh, you know what? It makes a lot of cookies, man. So you just wrap them up in that wax paper in a tube, just like you'd buy at the store. You can either freeze it or whatever. So simple, you know what I mean? And so delicious. Wow. Way better than anything you're gonna buy, you know what I mean? Getting your garden prepared for planting. Yeah. You had a good day. Awesome, D. Good to hear that. Yeah, every spring the gardens kind of the boxes are overgrown with grass and stuff. So I get there's this thing. It's like a garden weasel, or I don't know what it's called. The garden claw is a garden claw. The garden claw works really good. It's like a mini rototiller in your hand. So it's like a tool, and you just stick it in there and twist it, and it really works good. It's kind of a lot of work though. Do a couple boxes a day, and it'll be done. It'll be done way before planting time. So yeah, I got like 2 of them done right now. I think, did I start on a third one? No. Anyway, I've been kind of all over the place doing all kinds of stuff. I transplanted all kinds of, yeah, maybe I'll do a little video tomorrow during the day. Maybe a little live stream in the afternoon. I don't know if anybody will be around, but I'll do a little live stream in the afternoon. Is it supposed to be nice tomorrow? Can't remember. It's kind of cool today. But, and you know, my fruit trees are blossoming, flowering, just beautiful. My pear trees blossoming. Anyway. And you know what's weird? I had a few onions come up on their own this year. And even weirder, when I was like chopping up the soil, a giant potato, beautiful potato. I dug it up. It like lasted all winter underground. Perfect. I dug it up, and actually my pokey thing chopped it in half accidentally. Didn't know there's potato in there, but there's onions in there, all kinds of good stuff. But yeah. Yeah. So I'm good to go here on this. Good to go for the weekend here. But yeah, maybe I'll do a little tour, my springtime tour. You won't believe how nice and green it got. I'm ready to go get a couple gallons of gas, maybe on Sunday. I'll go get a couple gallons of gas and cut my grass and my riding lawnmower. I got 2 riding lawnmowers now. So I'm going to swap back and forth and keep them both, give them both attention. But yeah, I think it's almost time to cut the grass. Feeling a little puny. Gonna go to bed. Talk to the. All right. All right. Sorry to hear that, D. Sorry to hear that. So, but thanks for coming in. I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better very soon. Yeah, Grace said, hope you feel better, D. Be blessed. Yeah, be blessed. And yeah, hopefully it's just something will pass. And good to see you though, D. Good, nice to hear you had a nice day. A good day. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to play Bible Jeopardy. Unless, Grace, you just want to play me and you. Otherwise, we'll just chat for a little bit and have a short chat. I'm okay anyway. You want to just a short chat tonight? You want to play Bible Jeopardy? You name it, and I am up for it. But yeah, I'm super happy. I got so much done this week. And also, you guys, I'm also involved in that lawsuit. I'm involved in a lawsuit. It's been taking up a lot of energy, and I don't know. I've been involved in lawsuits before, and I tell you, every time it's a drain. I don't know. I think I've had 3 lawsuits. I can't remember, but I take a toll. I'm trying not to have that happen this time. And not, and I'm not going to have any expectations or anything this time. It always turns out, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's always stressful and work and anyway. So, what's up, Grace? Should we have Jeopardy for D? Should we have Jeopardy for when D is back and feeling better? Oh, should we save Jeopardy? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, we can save Jeopardy for sure. Yep, for sure. We'll save it for when she gets back, when she feels better. She's the champ. We got to have the champ here. But yeah, that's like I said. I'm game either way. Game either way. Yep, I'm just gonna relax now. Everything done for the week. I'm thinking about doing the flea market. It's coming up. I think it's starting Memorial Day weekend, if I remember right. So I might start getting ready for that in the next week or two. I don't know. It'd be all jewelry, you know what I mean? I'd have a total jewelry stand. I don't know. Do I want to do that or what? But anyway. Them cats are getting comfortable out here, though. Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and Cat 4. Yeah, it wouldn't be fair to smoke D in her absence. That's right. Yeah, she's pretty good. Yeah, and they have like Bible trivia or something on her at her apartment. I don't know if she said on every Tuesday or one Tuesday or whatever. They have Bible trivia at her apartment in the Bible study, and I bet she does good. A lot of practice. My sons are putting on a chili cookout soon. Really? Where is that at? Or what do they do? Make a big giant pot of chili in the backyard, or a chili cookout? Chili sounds good. Yeah. Do they do? Is that an annual thing? A thing for the spring? I haven't heard of any flooding. Did we not flood? My yard did not flood. It was a little sketchy there for a minute, but then it went down. But it was supposed to flood like down in Stillwater. I don't think it did though. I know somebody was just down there. It wasn't flooding, or she didn't mention it was flooding anyway. A chili competition? What? Oh, you know what? Speaking of flooding, Harriet Island. I think they're doing stuff at Harriet Island again because that has been underwater before. They used to have the Rib Fest there at Harriet Island, and they had some other stuff I can't remember. But Harriet Island can go underwater in the spring times. I haven't heard anything about flooding this year. Well, yeah, they're all planning for it about a month ago down in Stillwater. People were volunteering and sandbagging and all kinds of stuff. I didn't hear anything. I don't think it did flood. I think it went down probably like here. In fact, it was probably the snowiest it's been since I've been here, and I think it went down, even though it melted real suddenly in the 80 and 90 degree freak weather, which was gorgeous, by the way. It still didn't flood here, which, my ponds can get really high and all that stuff, and it just didn't. I mean, it got a little high, and then it was, I don't know, within a week or two back down. But yeah, that's good because it can. We get a lot of snow like that, and it melts fast. Yeah, the Fargo Moorhead. Yeah, you haven't heard about that. You know what? It's just weird because I saw I emptied out somebody's house, and there's an ashtray from a cafe in Fargo Moorhead. And I always heard about Fargo Moorhead. What I didn't know it was Fargo was on one side of the town in North Dakota, and Moorhead was on the other side of town. And I read the lady's obituary that I cleaned on her house, and she had met her husband. She was a waitress at the cafe on the Fargo Moorhead area there, and the cafe's no longer there. And anyway, had her whole life story. It's really interesting. And I was emptying out her house. You know what I mean? I was thinking, wow, that's kind of cool. What a life story. But that's where she met her husband. They had tons of kids and grandkids and had a good long life. But anyway, met as a waitress. She met her husband at the being a waitress there. Notorious for flooding, yes. Always Fargo, Moorhead. This is the first thing that come to mind when you say flooding is Fargo, Moorhead. That's like every year. I don't know why would people want to live there. I'm sure you can't give no flood insurance for sure. I always look at real estate online, always looking in different states and everything to purchase, you know what I mean, or whatever. But anyway, I just look at the sites. And anyway, there's a button you can click on, and it will show you the flood zones, like what's ever flooded, and it's really cool. It's a color-coded map. It looks like a contour map, kind of, but it's color-coded for the floods, you know what I mean? And anyway, I can imagine if you clicked on the Fargo Moorhead area, it would be all dark purple. That's the worst flooding area. It's like guaranteed to flood every year is the dark purple. Then it goes to blue, and it goes all the colors all the way up to white. And yeah, Fargo Moorhead. Yeah, it's just weird. You'd think they'd either move or come up with a solution. You know what they did down in St. Paul, because it used to the Mississippi there used to flood over into St. Paul and everything, into the buildings and everything. They finally just dug it and they put a wall up there. They built the road up real high and put a wall, so it can't flood anymore. That took like 50 or 100 years to, well, longer than that. It took about 100 and something years to figure it out. All the time. I used to take Shepherd Road into St. Paul when I lived in Afton down there. Lots of times it's closed because it's underwater. It was just a regular thing down there on Shepherd Road in St. Paul. They finally did something about it. And now it's never closed. But that was just a thing. And it was like the back door into St. Paul. So otherwise you had to go all the way around in traffic and be late for work. Try explaining that. Anyway. So anything new? We only have one more week of Ezekiel and we'll be done. I don't know what we're going to do for tomorrow, or if we'll get back to Ezekiel on Sunday or Monday. And then after that, we're probably just going to be doing short studies or whatever, open chats, whatever. And, you know, sometimes it makes me wonder, because now we're reading Ezekiel. And Ezekiel's telling you about prophesying about, you know, the destruction of Jerusalem, right? But then it goes on to tell you they're lamenting over the destruction of Jerusalem. So his whole book is before, during, and after the destruction of Jerusalem. Well, it's not really a prophecy. I mean, at the beginning when you're reading it, it's a prophecy, but you know what I mean? So by the time he's writing it, it's already happened. Well, hey, Martino. Ezekiel, I have set a pointed sword, a jab, against all their gates, that their heart may faint. Oh, yeah. And their ruins may be multiplied. It is made bright. It is wrapped up for the slaughter. Interesting. You know what? Good to see you tonight, Martino. Strong's H19 used to be slaughter, but now it's point of the sword. Really? Grace is good about that strong stuff. You should look that up, Grace, maybe if you can. I hope you're doing good tonight, Martino. We just did Ezekiel 21 this week, didn't we? Oh, wait, no, it was last week. We just read that. But yeah, if you have a different version, it would say, I have set the point of the sword against all their gates, and their heart may be faint. Yeah, they're just talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, but yeah, that's interesting. Am I back? I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I was trying to read the comments and it knocked me off. I'm going to pull it up on my thing so I don't have to touch this phone, because when I touch it wrong, it if I touch it, I do a bad touch, then I get knocked off. So touch it wrong, it no, Ron, I swore I muted that. But anyway, all right, now I can see your comments. Thank you for the welcome back there. All right, I can see the comments better now. H19, like COVID-19, yeah. Rearranged gates. And you have stage. All the world is a stage. That's right. That's right. Touchy, touching, bad touch. Yes, it was a bad touch. One wrong touch on this thing, and I am out. I get knocked off, and I don't know if it's because this holder thing. It's always got it always squeezes it too hard. The buttons don't work. It's almost like going to tell me something. But yes, I touched it wrong, and I got knocked off. So that's what happens. Anyway, yeah, it was very touchy. Just gonna mute that so it doesn't start up talking. Yeah. So anyway, well, we don't really have enough to play. How was your day today, Martino? Yeah. So I will have to think about what we're gonna do tomorrow night. Thinking about a short study of something. You know what I just watched? I didn't even watch, but I listened to it. It was on what's this guy? James Tabor. Good, thanks. Oh, my day was awesome. Thanks. Yep, just hung out at home and cleaned and got my house all in order and food ready and just ready to chill out, relax. My usual Friday routine. Do my shopping, which wasn't a lot. Did a little shopping, did a little cleaning, did a little gardening. Fun stuff. Love being outside again. It's nice out. A little chilly today, but not bad. Better than snow. Um, yeah, tomorrow will probably be a short study. And I'm just reading something. Yeah, so anyway, James Tabor had he was being interviewed by Gnostic informant Neil, Gnostic informant, and they were talking about Masada. And you guys know that Masada was the last stand after the fall of Jerusalem. The Jews hightailed it up to Herod's old hideout there, and actually they hung out there till the Romans built the ramp, the siege ramp, and after months and months and months, got up there and they killed themselves. Anyway, Tabor has been there lots of times since the 90s, I think, 80s or 90s. He's been going there, and anyway, he showed pictures of his the excavations and stuff. How they found. They were saying what happened to all the bodies. If there was like 1,000 people there, where were all the bodies? Where's the skeletons? Where's the bones? But anyway, it's all kinds of stuff. Real cool stuff if you like the stuff about Masada. What animal shall lie? What animal shall lay with the lamb in Isaiah? Well, that would be the wolf. Yep, wolf, wolf. Because in Isaiah, because a few chapters there later, it also says wolf, and a few chapters later, it also says wolf. Yeah, it says wolf, lion, and wolf the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, they have. I'm trying to turn my ringer off. How did I do that? There it goes. There. Yeah. Uh, Why do most people say it was lion? Well, because Jesus was known as the lion and the lamb. So people will see all kinds of artwork with lion and a lamb. And then somebody puts it in everybody's head that it said lion and a lamb, because nobody knew what Isaiah was until they started saying that. Because if people want to know, what does Isaiah 53 say? Oh, and it says lion and the lamb. Okay, well, what did Isaiah 52 say? They don't know. What did Isaiah 54 say? 55, 56, 57, 58? They don't know. It just proves that nobody knew anything about Isaiah until somebody said, hey, this should say lion and lamb, which it never did. The reason people got a lion and a lamb in their head, because it's always been Jesus. He was a lion from the tribe of Judah, and he was a sacrificial lamb, according to the book of John, Gospel of John. Yeah, because actually it repeats it again about the wolf laying with the lamb. I think it's a few I think it's Isaiah 56. I can't remember, but it repeats it again. And nobody's saying, hey, how come that says that? No, it's because one person brought it to everybody's attention and just say, hey, yeah, it should always be a lion and a lamb together. Well, you don't know. Well, actually, I'd like to ask anybody, what is that prophecy about? Does anybody know? We know what it is here on this channel because we've studied it. But most people can't tell you anything what Isaiah 53 is about. And some people say, well, Isaiah 53 is about the when in God's kingdom, when everybody's in heaven. No, it ain't. Yeah, and everybody lives forever. No, they don't. It says the child will live nobody will die a premature death. Everybody will live to be an old age, over 100, like 110 or something, which now most people don't. But there won't be any like disease, death, or stuff like that in God's kingdom. And the kingdom will be here on earth. So a lot of people totally have Isaiah, even the people that study Isaiah have it wrong. Oh my goodness, I think I have a June bug in my house. I hear gigantic wings. Hold on a second. What in the heck is that sound? Oh, there. Just not wings. Never mind. That was the dog's chicken. Dog's chicken's cooking. It was making a fluttery sound. It was a juice dripping. Why was Judah changed to Judas in King James? The tribe of Judah or Judas Iscariot? Which Judah are you talking about? There's a tribe of Judah and there is Judas Iscariot. Those two completely different things. Matthew 12, Abraham begat. Oh, yeah, don't get me started on that. Because we've actually studied that very closely here. And they have mentioned the 12 tribes, I don't know how many times. And they're always different. You've got several different versions of the 12 tribes. One book will say the 12 tribes, but sometimes they leave Joseph out of the 12 tribes and put in his children, Manasseh and Ephraim. And sometimes they leave other people out and put other people in. It's crazy. And then, you're talking about Matthew. You're talking about in Matthew chapter 1, they have the bloodline, supposed bloodline of Jesus. Well, wait a minute. Then Luke also has a bloodline of Jesus. Well, wait a minute. Neither one of them line up to reality, because Matthew and Luke have the bloodlines all wrong, even down to King David. And then from King David down, they said there's 14 generations. Oh boy, I could pull it up. But they are both an heir. I can show you. I'll show you. There's a lot of heirs when they have the bloodlines and stuff. I'll show you. We've looked at this a lot, actually, more than once. Where is it? Let's see. I could bring up a good one here. There's a lot of contradictions in the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament. And the bloodlines is also a huge contradiction. All right, here, let's pull one up. And you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is, the funny thing is, if you think that Jesus, if God was Jesus' father, then neither bloodline is relevant at all. Not at all. Because if God is the daddy, then he can't be in the bloodline of David. You understand? You cannot be in the bloodline of David if your father is God, because it's like a family tree. Well, here's two of them. I don't know. I've had better ones of these, but I'll pull it up. I'll show you real quick, just as a visual, if it will cooperate. All right. All right. So here's the bloodlines, supposedly going down to Jesus from Matthew and Luke. We've gone over this quite a few times on this channel, so I'll just kind of sum it up. Here in Matthew, starting in Matthew chapter 1, what you're talking about, they have this bloodline that goes from Abraham all the way down to Jesus, supposedly, right? And Luke gives a bloodline all the way from Adam and Eve, all the way from Adam all the way down to Jesus, right? Well, okay, so if you take Luke's and just start at Abraham, which is, where's Abraham? Right here. So if you just start at Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right here is what you're talking about. Judah, Perez. Well, over here they just have Judah and they have Perez. You see this? Judah and Perez are two different people. All right. Yeah, put these lists up side by side. So look, you have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, Perez, and here you have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, Perez is one person. Then you have Hezron, Arni, Admin, and then you have Perez, Hezron, Ram. You see how different these lists are? And you know what? If God is the daddy, then this list is gone. Okay, so if it's like God is the daddy, say you have a virgin birth and the mom wants to bring the baby in for DNA. And the DNA is going to come back, you don't have a daddy. Okay, you don't have a daddy to test. Well, you're never going to find the daddy unless you find, you know what I mean? You have to find the person. So anyway, if the only reason they even did this is because, and they did it really for no reason, because they didn't understand the prophecy. The prophecy was that the Messiah, the future Messiah, the King of Israel, the future King of Israel, would come from the bloodline of David, of King David. They never said they had to come from Bethlehem or anything like that. They added a whole bunch of stuff. No, just a bloodline of King David. So if you have David, so really just start from David, right? This is really all you have to do. You don't have to start from Abraham, Isaac. Well, okay, even if you want to, start at Abraham, Isaac. You can start at Adam if you want, but compare these from Abraham down. There's two completely different lists. And in fact, one of them says there's 14 generations from here to here, 14 from here to here, 14. In fact, I'll even pull that up. I'll show you. More people are now saying that you should read the book side by side rather than separately because it's too easy to skip over the errors and intended mistakes. Yeah, and you can read them for years unless you read it side by side, compare just like this. Just like this. You could read Matthew 1,000 times and you could read Luke 1,000 times, and you would not in your head realize that this is two completely different. Like I said, even if you just start, forget all this. Just start them both at Abraham just to make it fair. All right, and on down. You can just tell by looking that Luke, even at Abraham, there's still way more people. And you see how, isn't this weird though? How, and this happens this happens also in the Old Testament. When they have, you can see the 12 tribes. I could show you different lists of the 12 tribes. Every time they tell you the 12 tribes of Israel, guess what? They're different. You know what? It's weird. What I personally think is really weird is Joseph comes and goes out of these lists. And of all the sons, Joseph was the one who really did the best. And he's left out a lot. Like I said, instead of Joseph, they'll take Joseph out and put his two children in there, Manasseh and Ephraim. In fact, let's see. So Joseph is right here on the list, right here. Joseph. All right. Joseph's on this list. But Manasseh's on this list too. Now, which is weird because this is Joseph's son. He shouldn't be. Well, I guess in the bloodline he should be, but anyway, as you can see, even then the bloodlines don't match up, the tribes don't match up. Yeah, and you know what? Just getting those lists of contradictions and let you do your own digging. You know what I mean? Here, in fact, well, we're gonna pull up that 14 generations thing. That one's a doozy. All right. 14 generations. Let's pull that up. Oh, there's 14 generations from this to this and from that to that. Really? Oh, let's pull that up and see if there really is 14 generations. Here it is. Oh. All right, we're going to look at the 14 generations. Let's see if these match up, huh? All right. All right, in Matthew, also chapter 1. Here's your 14 generations. Here's what you're talking about. Now, for some reason, the writer in his head had to make it special. So make it look like there's 14 from, so all the generations, in fact, let me pull this up bigger here so we can see it. All right, this should be good. So now the writer in Matthew wants you to think of this as very, very special because so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14, and from David to the carrying away to Babylon are 14, and from the carrying away to Babylon to Christ are 14. 14 generations, 14. Oh, isn't that special? But it's wrong. It's very wrong. Because you have 14 generations here. And they had to fudge it because if you go through, these are not correct. There are some errors in here. And then what they did, look at 13 is Josias, 14 is Jeconias or whatever. Then up here, they start with what? They repeated Jeconias. You see this? They repeated Jeconias because this was only going to be 13. All right. And by the way, this list right here, by the way, One of these, I can't remember which is which, but one of these is a bloodline of Mary, and one of them is a bloodline of Joseph. So you have Joseph, I can't remember which is which, but the bloodline of Joseph is Mary's father, Joseph. And the other one is Joseph, the husband of Mary. So one of these bloodlines is Joseph, the husband of Mary, and one of these bloodlines is Joseph, the father of Mary. All right, so I can't remember which is which, but that is the case. Yep, I understand how the apostles got it confused. Thanks for the chart to help out. Yep, so just looking Matthew, Luke, bloodline contradictions. And so, yeah, so one of these bloodlines is a bloodline to Mary's husband, and one is which would be her, and one is to her father, which is actually her bloodline. And in one of these, they actually have, well, how many was there? 3 or 4 women. One of these bloodlines has 3 or 4 women in there, and you cannot put women in the bloodline because you don't go by the mom, you go by the dad. So some of these have women's names in it, and they're all women who had, like, you know, maybe some shady reputations, sexual stuff, like Rahab the harlot, or whatever, or was it, whatever her name was, the harlot. I can't remember the rest. Oh, the one who got pregnant by the father-in-law, dressed as a harlot. And then Mary, who was, you know, had the baby out of wedlock or whatever. So that's weird too. But why does KJV say Judas and most other versions still have it correct, Judah? Because his name was actually, see how it says Judah? His name was probably actually Judah Perez, as right there. Judah Perez. Oh, instead of Judas. Is there a Judas in this list? I don't see a Judas in the list. King James, I don't know. I'm not a King James only. I was when I first started reading the Bible, but I'm not a King James only. King James is there to confuse you. Maybe that's what we'll talk about tomorrow, how the King James is here to confuse you with their chapters and their verses and their Shakespeare language and all that kind of stuff. So says King James says Jose, but the other versions say the correct Joshua. Oh yeah, Luke, which was the son of Jose, which is the son of Elzer, which is yeah. Because really Joshua is actually Yeshua, which is actually Jesus. You know, so if you really were gonna interpret Jesus' name into English, it should be Joshua. Jesus' name should be Joshua. Well, not even, because they didn't have a J. I have a Bible right in front of me from 1560 or whatever, and they don't have J's. It's the weirdest thing. It's hard to read. There's no J's. So Jesus is actually Isis. What is it, you guys? Anyway, it's weird. Jesus is Isis. The J's are I's. It's just weird. F's are S's. It's weird. There's hardly any vowels. But yeah, it's just the versions. It's just the versions. You know, and King James, that'd be another one, yeah. Yeah, King James himself. You know. Jesus is Greek. Isis. Yeah, because the Romans are the ones that really wrote all that. As a matter of fact, the Gospels were written in Greek. You know, the Gospels are written in Greek. by highly educated Greek people. The Gospels were not written by Jesus' disciples. Absolutely not. The Gospels are written in Greek by highly educated Greek scholars. I forgot which, but one of the popes demanded the KJV be the official book. Yeah, and not only that, but the Baptists back in the 18 or 19. We'll go over it tomorrow. I have to refresh my memory. But there was, for a while, the Southern Baptists, you had to read the KJV or you're kicked out of the church. Ever notice the Gospels in genealogy in Genesis? Yeah, I think I remember that, but it's been a long time. The Gospel is in the genealogy in Genesis. No. I don't know. I don't know if I remember that. Genesis 5, man, Adam, appointed Seth, mortal. Oh, yeah. Enosh, sorrow, Kenan, bless God, will come down, teaching his death will bring the lamentation, rest. Yeah, I remember that. Actually, I think Grace showed me that a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, you take the meaning of each name and make it into a story. I wonder how many stories you really could make out of that. Like if I did that. Enosh, which means mortal. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I remember that from a long time ago. I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow for our short study. I've been wanting to do it again for a long time going after that. Enoch chapter 6 has a similar thing but leads to transhumanism. Oh wow. I think you showed me, maybe that's what you showed me. I can't remember. Yeah. Excuse my dog, he's stretching underneath my feet. Are you okay? He barely fits under my desk anymore. He's getting too big. Transhumanism, that is weird. That seems to be where things are headed. Maybe in the future. I think it'll be a while, but I think that's where they I think that's where they're headed. That's where they want to head anyway. People want to live forever. People want to live forever. Which, you know what? Yeah, when you get older. I was just thinking about that, how, like, when people get chemotherapy and radiation and stuff, and they're so sick, at the end, they're just like rooting for death. You know what I mean? They just want to die. Just like, it's so weird how people get so sick and stuff that you actually want to die. But, just looking at these genealogies, they're all different. Do they contradict? Yes, very much they contradict. Why I trust the Bible. Yeah. Here you go. That's more of what it is right there. So Mary's mother and Mary's father, the father was from the tribe of Judah. That's what you're actually looking at. One of those is Mary's bloodline, which is, you can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, it's just like getting screen is very, does it say cross-examined? Where is that? Oh, contradictions. Matthew, Luke, bloodline contradictions. Matthew, Luke, bloodline contradictions. Yeah, and then the other one, this one, I just typed in 14 generations, and you're gonna see this one. And this one is fudged. I mean, really fudged. Like I said, you can see number 14 is Jacarius. Then up here, they did Jacarius again. Because they're going to run short. So yeah, check that out. That is just put in I just tried to 14 generations. Didn't even have to put in Jesus. They knew what I was talking about. They didn't have to say what you talking about, Willis. Yeah, there it is. Really, and they didn't have to do this, but they did this to make it look special. I mean, yeah, there's a lot. And in fact, here, hold on a second. And we've gone over this a lot of times. It was one of my favorites. I never get tired of is the 196 contradictions in the Bible. Never get in the New Testament. Actually, here 190. It was 194. I'm sorry, 194 contradictions in the Bible. This is probably one of my favorite lists right here. Oh, you know what I could do? Duh. Hold on a second. You know what? I could just I just put links in the chat. There's one link. I was thinking as slow as molasses. All right, maybe I can't. All right, it isn't working. Anyway, so here's one of my favorite. And this one maybe I'll try to. Yeah, I can do that. Copy. Now this one I can copy and paste. This is the 194 contradictions. We've gone through this a lot. People are probably tired of it. I never get tired of it. And that is this one right here. 194 contradictions in the New Testament. This list is amazing. Now, some of these I have debunked, but I mean, maybe a handful, small handful, but most of them, because some of them, sometimes two things can be true. A and B can be true. Sometimes only A or only B can be true, but sometimes both can be true. And that's sometimes the case here. But for the most part, 95, 99% of these are absolute contradictions. You can click on each one. Well, maybe you can't. I don't think you can click on it. But anyway, so yeah, check that list out. Talk about contradictions. 194 contradictions just in the New Testament. We've gone over Old Testament contradictions and doublets if you haven't gone into that. There's a lot. It takes a long time to go through that list. A long time. Anyway. All right. Yeah, maybe we'll go through King James tomorrow. Figure out who the real King James is, right? Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up and get off of here and say good night and say good night, Gracie. Anyway. Thanks for the link. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow night. I think we're gonna maybe for our short study tomorrow we'll go over King James. Been wanting to do that for a while. Well, you're welcome, Martino. Nice to meet you. Good to have you here. Good to see you tonight. All right. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for gathering us this evening and all of our blessings. We thank you for your Sabbath. Always a delight. Thank you for the rest and all of our blessings. Amen. Yep. Good night to you too. So good night to Grace and Martino and Dee, and I hope Dee feels better. I hope everybody feels great, and hope you all have an awesome day tomorrow. I hope everyone rests well. You too, Grace. Good night to you too. All right. All right. Good night. Love, prayers, blessings. You too. Love you, Grace. Love you all, everybody. Love you all. God bless each and every one of you. Praise and glory to God. Hallelujah. And Shalom.